More about the potential dangers of these energy drinks for teens and kids especially is Healthy Morning contributor Dr. Jane Morgan, a cardiologist and executive director of health and community education at Piedmont Healthcare. Always good to see you, Dr. Morgan. So I want to talk about the cardiologist part of your title because I'm assuming with too much caffeine, that's not really good for your heart, especially in a kid that's under 12 and under 18, right?
You know, the recommendations are absolutely no caffeine, really, is what pediatricians recommend for children under the age of 12. And really a safe level is 100 milligrams between ages of 12 and 18. And we see that a lot of these energy drinks pack a lot more than that, 200, 300, 400 milligrams. And so the concern is what happens? You have an increased risk of anxiety, jitteriness, restlessness, cardiac symptoms like palpitations and high blood pressure, and then also it impacts sleep, which we also know has a negative impact on the heart as well.
Absolutely.
And this is a big business. I mean, it's been 25 years since Red Bull came out. Remember that? Oh, Red Bull. 25 years. Red Bull gives you wins.
Gosh.
You know, you
People
can stay
order
out.
that at bars.
Right. Red Bull and vodka was a thing. Disgusting in retrospect.
But think about it.
But people loved it. And it's a major business in this country. Folks got concerned because it was starting showing up in elementary school classrooms. Kids were consuming it, selling it. Right, because it's sugary and all of this. That's the concern. But it's making big money, which means it ain't going anywhere anytime soon here. So what are better alternatives for the under 12 set? What should they be drinking most of?
You know, what's interesting is we looked at a study even as far back as 2014, and it appears that children here in the United States under the age of 12, 75% of them have quite a significant amount of caffeine intake in this country. That's because caffeine is found in a lot of sources, not just the energy drinks, but our sodas, and we consume quite a bit of soda here. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 0 amount of caffeine for children. Pediatricians are a little bit more lenient at 100 milligrams, but we have to remember that caffeine has another unintended consequence, and that is actually a diuretic. And so it also impacts dehydration. And when we live in climates that are hot and humid, and in the summer we're in a heat wave, these energy drinks and caffeine can actually contribute to heat exhaustion and dehydration because of their diuretic effect as well.
And that's why they tell you in heat waves, put down the coffee, put down the alcohol, and do the water. Right?
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, we hated it, but my mom, she wouldn't even buy juice, not even like fruit juice, nothing like that. It was water and milk, and that was it. So growing up, we were like, well, our friends have juice, you know, but she was like, no extra sugar, none of that. But as I got older, when I was in high school, it was a cool thing to do to like go on your lunch break, come back with an iced coffee. You're the cool kid, right? You got your car on campus, you do all that cool stuff. But when I found out I was getting addicted to it, I was like, oh my goodness, I need it. So I would get the headaches, I would get kind of jittery if I didn't have it. What would be your advice to somebody who is trying to wean off of something like this, whether it's coffee or energy drinks? Because those are easy. You just stop by your local convenience store and just grab one.
Absolutely. And caffeine, we have to remember, is a drug.
Yeah.
And it is addictive. The half-life of caffeine, meaning the amount of time that it takes for your body to eliminate caffeine, is somewhat long at 3 to 7 hours. So let's say you have 200 milligrams of caffeine. It will take 5 hours for your body to eliminate half of that and have 100 milligrams. And then another 5 hours, so up to 10 hours just to get to 50 milligrams. So it takes almost 12 hours to clear caffeine. That's half a day to clear caffeine from your body. 100 milligrams.
Right? I mean, when you pour it in a cup, what does that look
100
like?
milligrams is a cup of coffee.
Okay.
One cup.
One cup. Yeah,
It's
look
a
at that right
single
there.
cup of coffee is 100 milligrams of caffeine. And so when we
Rob
look
has
at,
like 5 before
I
he
have
gets
3.
here.
I have 2 in the morning, and I have 1 mid-afternoon, so I don't fall asleep on top of my kids.
Right.
And that's it.
Well, according to the FDA, then, as an adult, you are within the recommended daily amount of 400 milligrams per day. 400 milligrams a day for an adult. So you are within that recommended. You are a little bit below. You might be skirting it, but you're a little bit below.
He's like, all right, cool, I can have another one.
But so when you are withdrawing, I was going to say, so if you want to think about cutting back, you need to just gradually begin to cut back. Begin to to increase the amount of nutrient-dense foods
Okay.
that you're eating. Hydrate,
So good.
hydrate. And when I say hydrate, that means water. You have to drink water. And then increase your energy with things like a good sleep hygiene and exercise.
Yeah.
So you want to think about things like that. And don't be afraid to take some over-the-counter pain medications to relieve that headache. You don't have to suffer for headaches as you're weaning yourself from caffeine.
I'm glad you said that, because when you look at the booming business of energy
Yeah.
drinks in this country, what it says to me is a lot of folks are tired and need that boost. So when you talk about the exercise and eating better and good night's sleep,
Yeah.
those are the natural,
That's right.
non-coffee, non-prime ways to boost that energy.
Yeah.
So thank you for making that point. So
Yeah.
when we say Prime Day, we're not talking about these drinks. Just so
Some
we're
of y'all
clear.
wish it was.
Right. Yeah.
All right, Healthy Morning contributor and cardiologist Dr. Jane Morgan.
you.
As always, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Yep, we
Thanks.
appreciate it.